You drown in 10 feet of water or 10,000, what's the difference? We can already drown. They know.
Oppenheimer.
Here we go.
Oppenheimer.
Opie.
I wanted to see it so bad, and then I just never did. So now I'm gonna experience it for the first time in a reaction video.
Well, I was about to say this is a nippleless film, but
It's not a nippleless film, right? I remember seeing some TikTok where it was like, I'm emotionally preparing my husband for the sex scene.
Cameron, Killer Cam, gang.
He's a wizard.
This must have been crazy to watch in theaters.
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh, I so wish I'd seen it.
To read into the record.
Yes, Your Honor.
We're not judges, Doctor.
No. Of the security board. The so-called derogatory information in your indictment of me cannot be fairly understood except in the context of my life and my work.
Trial.
Awesome.
I thought that was Harry Styles.
You didn't remember that was the guy from the Solo film that bombed at box office?
You didn't have to say all that.
Be uncomfortable. Who'd want to justify their whole life?
The new physics.
Was there nowhere here? I thought Berkeley had the leading theoretical physics department.
I was homesick, emotionally immature, troubled by visions of a hidden...
This is how it feels to eat 5 gum.
Useless in the lab.
Oh man.
Oh, no, not you, Oppenheimer.
You finish coaching us, please.
Who just has poison with them? Like, I got my cyanide.
I guess in an environment like this.
Open the door. Now we are peering through, seeing a world inside our world, a world of energy.
I mean, if you poisoned the apple, would you be running like this?
I mean, I'd be at a late jog.
J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Lecture. You ask the only good question.
No one's denying his insight. It's his laboratory work that leaves a little to be desired.
You can lift the stone without being ready for the snake that's revealed. So get out of Cambridge with its beakers and potions. Go somewhere they'll let you think.
Wormhole.
I feel like my problem with Nolan is that the dialogue is not good in his movies. Like, no one talks normal. Like, everyone talks in, like, a grand theoretical way. Like, a wise man once said, oh, but a wiser man said this. Like, I'm like, this is not how people talk. But in this Oppenheimer, like, universe, it kind of
works. The horns in this are so cool, dude.
This is like prog, like some synth wave. That new Angels and Airwaves music is crazy.
Senator from Wyoming.
Admiral Strauss, I'm interested in your relationship with Dr. J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Dr. Oppenheimer. An honor.
Mr. Strauss.
It's pronounced Strauss.
Oppenheimer, whatever way you say it, they know I'm Jewish.
So I'm a self-made man.
Oh, I can relate to that.
Really?
Yes, my father was one.
I can relate.
Joe Strauss was once a lowly shoe salesman.
No, just a shoe salesman. Albert.
Einstein, epic rap battles of history.
Yes, say to him.
Strauss, there are things in my past you ought to be aware of.
You are the man for the job.
Well, then I'll consider it.
Oppenheimer brought your attention to his past associations before you appointed him.
Yes.
And I moved on to Leiden in Holland, where I first met Isidore Rabi.
Lecturing on the new physics. Let me know if you need any help with the English.
De boel zingt tussen een alfadelsje en een atoom. Vangen voor een verschillende energie in de verbinding.
We're a couple of New York Jews. How do you know Dutch? You learned enough Dutch in 6 weeks to get a lecture on quantum mechanics. Dutch in 6 weeks, but you never learn Yiddish.
Jew moments.
The feeling all kind isn't entirely welcome here.
Physicists.
Cillian Murphy is definitely not Jewish, right?
Oh yeah, I don't.
They just have anyone play Jewish people.
Yeah.
I liked your paper on molecules.
Probably because you inspired it.
We published together.
I have to get back to America. That's the America I miss right now.
Then it's best you get home, cowboys.
Nice to meet you.
You know they were hooking up.
What? That's what they left out of the history books.
They were great friends.
They were doing a different kind of physics. They were doing physical physics.
I wish I knew physics terms. Josh Peck?
Are you waiting for Josh Peck?
I'm waiting for Josh.
It's gonna be a while until you see him.
Alright, well.
It's gonna be a long while.
I feel like Oppenheimer starring Josh Peck.
We're building a machine to accelerate electrons.
Magnificent.
Would you like to help?
Build it? Oh, no. No. But I am working on theories I'd like to test with it. Now, Mr. Nolan, you're gonna be okay. Mr. Snyder. Increasing gravity.
Increasing density.
And?
It's a vicious cycle until... What's the limit here?
I don't know.
That it was connected to his left-wing political activities.
Oh, he's leftist.
Freaking commie. Florence.
Dr. Hogan Chevalier, Dr. Robert Oppenheimer.
Your reputation precedes you. You're teaching a radical new approach to physics I have no chance of understanding, but I hadn't heard.
Look at what the Nazis are doing to the Jews. I send funds to colleagues in Germany to emigrate. I have to...
2 stars die.
Well, if they do, it cool, then collapse. In fact, the bigger the star...
At a party, like Lil Jon music is blasting in the background.
If they do, it cool, then collapse. In fact, the bigger the star...
And he's talking about this.
Here says he's not a communist.
Well, then he doesn't know enough about it.
Oh, I've read Das Kapital, all 3 volumes.
You better read the most party members.
So real.
Sorry, I read it in the original German.
I love that they hammer in that he's very pretentious.
Yeah.
This entire movie.
Physicist, you pick and choose rules? Or do you use the discipline to channel your energies into progress?
I like a little wiggle room.
I like my wiggle room too.
Let's wiggle together.
Yeah, okay.
What?
Because if I was with a girl in mid-session, let's read about the ancient Vishnu or whatever, I'm like, okay, you are a cult member.
They're so sweaty.
And now I have become death. Destroyer of worlds.
This is historically accurate.
You're happy. I'm happy.
So then I'm happy you're happy that I'm happy.
I did think they were gonna kiss for a second there.
I'm pretty sure they're siblings.
Yikes!
Pretty sure that's his brother.
Quite clear. There's just one problem.
Where?
We're not kissing.
30 of these in the past 10 minutes.
Theory will take you only so far.
During the process,
You're thinking what I'm thinking.
you, me, and every other physicist around the world have seen a bomb.
I don't want anything from you.
You say that and then you call.
Well, don't answer.
Toxic.
Just no more flowers.
Too old to be doing this, bro.
Yeah.
How old is he at this point in his life? What, like 30 or something? If he's like a accomplished professor, you're too old to be doing this.
But having affairs?
Well, like this whole back and forth, but you still call me. Don't answer. If you're like 30 doing that type of stuff, you lame, bro. That's some high school stuff, man.
Dr. Bush, what brings you two up north? Richard, you tell Ruth I'll be down to Pasadena Thursday.
Paper of black holes, it's in!
You've been upstaged.
Do you two need anything?
We're good, Ruthie.
Can you explain quantum mechanics to me? Seems baffling.
Yes, it is. Well, it's class.
Everyone in this movie is just like, quantum mechanics sounds hard, which, I mean, it does.
Look at him. He's charming with physics, bro.
You're married to Dr. Harrison.
Oppenheimer taking people's girls, man.
Honestly.
Feel
She feels the same way.
sometimes.
My husband offered both our futures to stop one fascist bullet from embedding itself in a mud bank. That's the definition of nothing.
Seems a little reductive.
Pragmatic.
I mean, I love this, but it's just like, I love that this is how every Nolan conversation is.
That was the most weirdest conversation ever.
He knocked her up.
Can't keep a good man down. Talk to them. They're getting a divorce.
He knocked up a married woman while still
While,
doing this, man.
You think the rules don't apply to the golden boy?
Brilliance makes up for a lot.
Don't alienate the only people in the world that understand what you do. One day you might need them.
What do any of you have in common with farm laborers? Not you.
He tried to dip.
He's like, bye.
What are you doing?
It's a trade union.
Filled with communists.
So it means for the Nazis to have a bomb.
You think that I tell them about your politics. Next time you're coming home from a meeting, why don't you take a look in the rearview mirror? Because you're not just self-important, you're actually important.
Robert Downey Jr. had to cut his hairline back for this role.
Yeah.
Found it out of jobs for any hint of red.
Reading Oppenheimer's security file, his communist brother, sister-in-law.
These isotopes could be useful to our enemies in the production of atomic weapons.
You could use a shovel in making atomic weapons. In fact, you do. You could use a bottle of beer. Isotopes are less useful than electronic components, but... I'm in.
Let's celebrate.
Didn't you go to him?
Get away from me.
I have been going to him all fucking day.
I'm gonna punch that baby.
I'm ashamed to ask. Take Peter.
Sure.
For a while.
You're a really chill guy.
We're awful people. Selfish, awful people.
Selfish, awful people. They don't know they're selfish and awful. Robert, you see beyond the world we live in. There is a price to be paid for that.
Imagine an affair, and he's like, this was for the greater good.
You smashed my wife for the safety of mankind.
I'll help you in any way I can. There's a whole thing about did we have to do Hiroshima and Nagasaki to end the war? And the short answer is,
Dr. Oppenheimer.
No, Matt Damon.
Nichols. Have that dry clean.
Why do you need a dry clean right away?
You must have been musty.
I haven't showered in 7 days.
I'm filthy.
Brought quantum physics to America. You're a dilettante, a womanizer, a suspected communist. Anything good to say was Richard Tolman. Tolman thinks you have integrity. Strikes me as a guy who knows more about science than people.
System faster than the Nazis.
Who have a 12-month head start, which is...
Anti-Semitism, physics, Jewish science.
Sure did. It was a great handicap that they had. That they thought science was Jewish and they thought math was Jewish.
It's my job to say no to you when you're wrong.
So you have the job now?
I'm considering it.
Why would I leave my family? I'm not a soldier, I'll be a
soldier.
Look at his little body. Look at Cillian Murphy's little body.
Because this is the most important fucking thing to ever happen in the history of the world.
They are not going to let me onto this project. And failing a security check is not going to be good for a career even after the war.
You drop a bomb and it falls on the just and the unjust. And treats the physics to be a weapon of mass destruction.
But I know the Nazis can't. We have no choice.
Take off that ridiculous uniform. You're a scientist.
I love that the poster for Oppenheimer just looks like Inspector Gadget, like
Yeah.
a pretty reimagining.
This was in the trailer. This.
He tucks his tie into his pants.
I never see someone tuck their tie into their pants.
So, while I go to Princeton,
What for?
to talk to Einstein.
Well, there's not much common ground between.
I like that he's always just like wandering in the wilderness. I want him to go.
Refuses to eat. Whose work is this?
Tellers. Neutrons to smash into other nuclei. Criticality, a point of no return, massive explosive force. But this time, the chain reaction doesn't stop.
It would ignite the atmosphere.
He said it's...
Destroys the world.
So here we are, lost in your quantum world of probabilities.
That's wild when, like, making the bomb, they're like, this could destroy the atmosphere. Let's do it anyway.
So neither side destroys the world.
The reasoning was that, like, everyone else is already racing to get to this result.
Yeah.
So someone is going to do it anyway.
That if anyone had anything they wanted to pass on, going around official channels...
That would be treason.
Yes, of course. I just thought you should know.
During his time in the AEC, we'll have a scientist appearing before the committee.
Bag, Lewis. So play nice. They bring in a scientist, so what?
You don't know scientists like I do, Counselor. They resent anyone who questions their judgment, especially if you're not one of them. I was chair of the AEC. I'm easy to blame for what happened to Robert.
We can't have the Senate thinking the scientific community doesn't support you, sir.
Or should we pivot? I fought Oppenheimer and the U.S. won.
I don't think we need to go there. Isn't there someone we can call who knows what really happened?
The biggest man-made explosion in history. Now let's calculate how much more destructive it would have been if it were a nuclear.
Bomb will need a... Sorry. Gadget.
Are we boring you, Edward?
A little bit. Instead of uranium or plutonium, we use hydrogen. Heavy hydrogen. Deuterium. You see? We compact the atoms together under great pressure to induce a fusion reaction. Then we'll get not kilotons.
As colleagues, we agreed to disagree on a great many things. Was the need for an H-bomb program.
I'm Klaus Fuchs.
How long have you been British?
Since Hitler told me I wasn't German.
I've informed General Grills we've been holding cross-divisional open discussions on a nightly basis.
Shut them down.
These men aren't stupid. They can be discreet.
I don't like it.
You don't like anything enough for that to be a fair test. Still haven't heard that my security clearance has been approved.
It hasn't.
I'm going to Chicago tomorrow.
No, you should wait.
You are aware that the Nazis have a 2-year head start.
Dr. Oppenheimer, the fact that your security clearance is proving difficult to obtain is not my fault. It's yours.
It may not be your fault, but it's your problem.
If it can put us ahead again, the President of the United States needs to know about it. And if the Russians know about it already from a spy...
What the hell were you doing in Chicago?
Kiss.
We have every right.
You have just the rights that I give you. No more, no less.
We are adults trying to run a project here. This is ridiculous.
There's only really one question I need answered here today. In light of the current AEC guidelines, would you clear Dr. Oppenheimer today? I'd like to remind you what we talked about in Berkeley.
Compartmentalization, I understand completely.
He's just getting all, he's like, all my friends are gonna work with me.
Yeah.
Greetings from Berkeley. I am here to update you on our progress and solicit your input. To do so, I am going to have to share a few things that General Groves told me not to. Gentlemen?
I like that he's just pissed this whole movie.
I love this big, like, floral thing in the middle of the table. Like, so you can't
really
look
facilitates
everyone in the
conversation.
Through that union, the FA.
FACT.
Engaged on secret war work and...
Oh, okay. Just dug it out.
What a conversation.
Pages of nothing. Where did you go?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
Because you're a communist. She had indicated a great desire to see me before we left. At that time, I couldn't, but I felt she was undergoing psychiatric treatment. She was extremely unhappy.
Oh, weird.
She was still in love with me.
Oh! Oh! It's even weirder.
Spent the night together, didn't you?
Oh, Kitty.
I mean, you got with him.
I was gonna say, Kitty doesn't really get
when
to
you
it.
got with him. You can't really get mad that someone that cheated with you cheated with someone else.
I'd rather be here for you as you need.
But you have other priorities now.
I have a wife and child.
That's not what either of us is talking about.
But I can't see you again.
But what if I need you?
You better call God or something.
Not a word.
When did you see her after that?
I never saw her again.
No, she mad.
Yeah, I didn't say anything that I hadn't already told you.
Today you set it to history, didn't
The
you?
head of security for the project, shouldn't I know him?
No, he should know you. I would never put you in a room with Paz.
Why not?
General Groves has placed in me a certain responsibility, and it's like having a child who I can't see.
This movie's got everyone.
Whatever time you choose.
Mr. Johnson told me of a conversation you had yesterday in which I'm very interested. It's had me worried all day.
FBI pointed out that such information wouldn't be admissible in court. Pash made it clear he had no intention of leaving any witness left to prosecute.
This movie is shot in such a you're uneasy the whole time.
As after all, but I don't like the idea of it going out the back door. It might not hurt to be on the lookout for it.
And you said that to Pash?
I was trying to put it in the context of Russia's not Germany.
Boris Pash is the son of a Russian Orthodox bishop. Born here, but in 1918 he went back to Russia to fight the Bolsheviks.
Did you lie to General Groves, too? No. I admitted to him that I'd lied to Pash.
Do you recall his conversation about the Chevalier incident?
I've seen so many versions of it. Wasn't confused before, but I'm certainly getting there now. You're trying to protect your friend. Who's protecting you?
Oh, you could. I'll do it.
That's a mistake, Robert. You need to volunteer this name.
Status of the Nazi bomb project.
Who did?
General Groves. He transferred me to London.
Friend.
This is like one of those church Christmas parties. Talking to somebody else.
What makes you think I know where he is anyway?
Because you do a pretty good job of knowing where Mr. Tolman is when it counts.
Is it big enough
To end the war.
to end all war?
You took a wrong turn. We're ahead. And with you here to help us, Niels.
Okay, could you give us a moment? I'm not here to help, Robert.
Why did you come?
Talk about after. Power you're about to reveal will forever outlive the Nazis. And the world is not prepared.
The stone without being ready for the snake that's revealed.
We have to make the politicians understand this is
This is Nolan ways, bro. this is how they all talk.
These little metaphors.
men who gave them the power to destroy themselves. And they'll respect that.
For this type of movie, it works.
Robert? Your father called. They found her yesterday in the bath.
Who?
She's taking pills. Will hydrate in her blood. She said you needed me.
You gotta be strong to hear, like, your husband's... Your husband crying because his side chick killed himself. Like, how do you...
Pull yourself together. People here depend on you.
You're on your own, pal.
Bob, I'm not quitting my job because...
Netamar, Seth, I'm putting you on plutonium. Lily?
He's like, alright, end of trauma.
You don't have time to meet. You're a politician now, Robert. You've left physics behind many, many years ago.
But that was the recommendation of the AEC, was it not?
They finally took away the
finally said, let's make it so we can talk to each other.
It's a weapon of mass genocide.
Izzy, draw some circles on this side of the map where they would target us, starting with New York.
That's
DC.
You drown in 10 feet of water or 10,000, what's the difference? We can already drown Russia. They know
An hydrogen bomb can be made to work, Oppie. You know that.
I don't believe we should commit all our resources to that chance, committing that we will not build a hydrogen bomb.
Thereby revealing its existence.
Which you seem convinced they already know.
Oppenheimer?
I don't like this guy's hair.
He's my favorite actor.
Your favorite actor? What's his name?
I don't know, but I've seen him in a bunch of movies.
He looks like he eats cement blocks.
What?
Cement blocks?
He looks like his name is Thad. Look at his weird hands typing, bro.
Now you want to roast my guy?
That's his favorite actor you're talking about.
We're theorists. Yes? We imagine a future, and our imaginings horrify us. They won't fear it until they understand it, and they won't understand it until they've used it. When the world learns the terrible secret of Los Alamos, our work here will ensure a peace mankind has never seen. A peace based on the kind of international cooperation that Roosevelt always envisaged.
We just have to level 2 Japanese cities first.
Dropped from a barely noticed B-29, the atomic bomb will be a terrible revelation of divine power.
Yeah, they really went soft targets.
Tend to demonstrate it in the most unambiguous terms. Twice. Once to show the weapon's power, and a second to show that we can keep doing this until they surrender.
It's pretty savage.
11. I've taken Kyoto off the list due to its cultural significance to the Japanese people.
Wow, how kind.
Also, my wife and I honeymooned there.
Oh my god.
I'll send a message. It's gone our way. Take in the sheets.
Those radiation sheets, bro.
There's 3 kilotons, Telezine with 45, 20,000 tons of TNT. And does anyone want the side action on atmospheric ignition?
The implosion lenses will work. If we fire these detonators and they don't trigger a reaction, 2 years worth of plutonium will be scattered across white sands.
It's crazy that, like, I know what's gonna happen, and there's still suspense here.
I think the score is doing a really good job.
Yeah.
We slept in 2 nights. If we stand down, make the bomb safe, we won't be back here for weeks. Then we'll miss Potsdam. I gotta get word to Truman by 7. Our window's closing. What is this doing? Raining, blowing lightning. For how long, damn it? Hold strong.
Looked like the chain reaction from an atomic device might never stop. Call it gallows humor.
We saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world.
Is this a shot of him looking up? That one.
Now, the glass stops the UV.
I don't think so, Jack Quaid.
The detonators don't charge. When the voltage drops below 1 volt, you hit that button, you abort.
Jack Quaid, put on sunglasses.
These things are harder than your heart.
I would not want to be the button guy.
Yeah. I wish I'd seen this in the theater, man.
I have become death. The destroyer of worlds.
Well, it worked. Are you really a hero for this? It's like...
Get a message to Kitty. Tell her to take in the sheets.
Did Truman brief Stalin at Potsdam?
Brief would be an overstatement.
Well, you'll keep me informed.
Of course. As best I can.
Becomes unthinkable.
Ooh. Until somebody builds a bigger one.
It is the harnessing of the basic power of the universe.
I'm very proud of you and all of your people.
It went all right.
Apparently, it went with a tremendous bang. The things I ever did was when I selected the director of Los Alamos.
More than $2 billion on the greatest scientific gamble in history, and we have won.
Wrong flags, haha, gotcha.
The world will remember this day. But I'll bet the Japanese didn't like it.
Oh, man.
I'm so proud. I just wish we had it in time to use against the Germans.
That's a harsh wish.
I feel to be the most famous man in the world. Wes, you're on the cover of Time.
Everything they have.
I hear you're leaving Los Alamos. What should we do with it?
Give it back to the Indians. I feel that I have blood on my hands.
You think anyone, Nagasaki, gives a shit who built the bomb? They care who dropped it. Don't let that crybaby back in here.
It's blacklisted by every university in the country. Devastated when Truman rejected their recommendation.
I miss Richard more than I can bear.
I know, Ruth, I know.
I'm just glad he didn't live to see where this is all going.
Klaus Fuchs, the British scientist that you put onto the implosion team at Los Alamos, turns out he was spying for the Soviets the whole time. The FBI stepped up surveillance on him. He knew his phone was tapped. He was followed everywhere. Trash picked through. Never stopped speaking his mind. He thought fame could actually protect him. A lowly shoe salesman.
He's still holding on to that?
Yeah. Petty bitch.
The atomic bombings were not the last act of World War II, but the first act of this Cold War with Russia. Do you?
Very sweaty.
You sat here and let me tell you how it's done. You've been far ahead all along.
Survival in Washington is about knowing how to get things done.
It's crazy how Time magazine covers used to have people like this, but now it'll be like Harry Styles.
Strauss is so mad.
It was 6 years ago.
Patient as saints.
Strauss has been perfectly clear that he...
Wake up! It is Strauss! Why won't you fight him?
A simple bureaucratic procedure is Q clearance. It's up for renewal. You send your accusations to the FBI. Hoover sends them to the AEC. You're forced to act.
Prosecutor?
In all but name.
Who?
Roger Robb.
Ouch.
Robb will have security clearance to examine Oppenheimer's file, as will the Gray Board. Defense counsel will not. We're not convicting. We're just denying.
Or in truth. If it's truth, where's the disclosure? Where's the witness list?
Mr. Garrison, this isn't a trial, as you are well aware. Evidentiary rules do not apply. We are dealing with national security.
Script and I'll accept it. I've already explained I made up a cock and bull story.
And why would anyone make up such an elaborate story?
Because I was an idiot.
I was told him that you and Ruth Tolman have been having an affair for years. He convinced Lawrence that Richard died of a broken heart.
It's absurd.
What's the heart?
A broken heart. Richard never found out.
Eat.
Oh wait, was he gonna like testify against him or something?
After the Russian A-bomb test, Dr. Lawrence come to see you about the hydrogen bomb.
You'd be better off asking him.
I fully intend to. The witness, Dr. Lawrence, has apparently come down with colitis.
Yeah, that was Lawrence. Lawrence was gonna testify, but then he saw how in shambles Oppenheimer was, and then just was like, I don't know.
Tough.
I'm sick.
Yeah, I've got colitis, sorry.
This weird man's face. Look at this weird actor's face right here. He's like a Bethesda created character when you... I need to create him in Starfield today.
Oh, man.
Call him Noob's favorite actor. And I'm gonna make him be evil and kill.
That more probably than not, J. Robert Oppenheimer is an agent of the Soviet Union.
They were coming at him for communism his whole life. His whole life.
J. Robert Oppenheimer was a sufficiently hardened communist that he volunteered information to the Soviets.
SMFH.
has since been functioning as an espionage agent.
I'm sorry, Robert.
Is
anyone ever going to tell the truth?
To testify about Louis Strauss, a man who has given years of service, high positions of government, and
I'm gonna sing about it.
Mr. Strauss, completely out of government. Because of the personal vindictiveness he demonstrated against Dr. Oppenheimer.
Oh, he's riding for his man. He's riding for his man.
Oppenheimer made mincemeat out of Strauss's position on the ship.
It is assumed, and still assumed, that he's loyal to the United States. I believe this.
Under the current AEC guidelines, would you clear Dr. Oppenheimer today?
Under my interpretation of the Atomic Energy Act, which did not exist when I hired Dr. Oppenheimer, and I would not clear him today.
Thank you, General. That is all.
But I don't think I'd clear any of those guys.
Dr. Oppenheimer had no responsibility in the selection or the clearance of Klaus Fuchs, did he?
No, none at all.
And you wouldn't want to leave this board with any suggestion today that you're here questioning his basic loyalty to the United States and the operation of Los Alamos.
We shouldn't keep them waiting.
She'll be here.
It's time for her to take the stand.
We're grown-ups. We've walked through fire together.
Views on communism is pro, anti, neutral.
I've had nothing to do with communism and since 1936, since before I met Robert.
Would have protested against the tactics of the man who served, in fact, as the prosecuting counsel, a man appointed not by the board, but by Louis Strauss.
It was also very long ago, Mr. Robb, wasn't it?
Not really.
Long enough to have forgotten.
Did you return the card or rip it up?
The card whose existence I've forgotten. Things linked together and spread all over the world, and I've believed this since I left the party 16 years ago.
But
17 years ago. My mistake.
But you said...
Sorry, 18. 18 years ago. Knew that Robert gave money from time to time.
Did you know this money was going into Communist Party channels?
Don't you mean through Communist Party channels, don't you?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. By 1942, your husband had not stopped having anything to do with the Communist Party. You don't have to answer that yes or no. You can answer that any way you wish.
I know that, thank you. It's your question. It's not properly phrased.
Do you understand what I'm getting at?
I do.
Then why don't you answer it that
Because
way?
I don't like your phrase. Because Robert never had anything to do with the Communist Party as such.
Good night.
This was it.
He just
every time I want.
He just walking around.
This is on a stroll. I want him here to go.
This is the reward she offers you, then...
Damn it, I happen to love this country.
Then tell them to go to hell.
It's not good he's telling everyone you initiated the hearings.
You can't prove a goddamn thing. You certainly can't prove that I gave the file to Borden. Right, they're not convicting. Just denying. Read out what's the angle.
Do people need a reason to do the right thing?
In 1942, you're actively pushing the development of the hydrogen bomb, weren't you?
Pushing is not the right word. Supporting it and working on it, yes.
So when did these moral qualms become so strong that you actively oppose the development of the hydrogen bomb? What do moral qualms have to do with that?
He wanted to own the atomic bomb. He wanted to be the man who moved the earth. He talks.
This guy's having a one-sided beef.
Yeah, for real.
He's like, Oppenheimer is my nemesis.
Same. Do you know he's never once said that he regrets Hiroshima? The most important man who ever lived.
Weeks and years that followed?
It has been put at somewhere between 50 and 100,000.
220,000 dead at least.
Yes.
Any moral scruples about that?
Terrible ones.
But yet you testified in here that the bombing of Hiroshima was very successful.
Technically successful.
Oh! Technically it was very successful.
And it is also alleged to have helped end the war.
Would you confronting you with it now, sir?
It was all part of his plan. He wanted the glorious, insincere guilt of the self-important to wear like a fucking crown. Say, no, we cannot go down this road, even as he knew.
Have been opposed to the dropping of a thermonuclear weapon on Japan because of moral scruples.
Said to me if I would, sir.
Or did you oppose the dropping of an atomic bomb on Hiroshima because of moral scruples? The GAC report which you co-authored after the Soviet atomic test said.
If we did it, they would have to do it. Our efforts would only fuel their efforts just as it had with the atomic bomb. To me, we would tend to use any weapon we had.
He should be thanking me.
He's just mad because his hairline is so far back.
That you are a loyal citizen. In the light of your continuing association, we have voted 2-1 to deny the renewal of your security clearance. A full written opinion.
I mean, at least they don't think you're a communist. Yeah. That's a win.
That if you let them tar and feather you, the world would forgive you.
We'll see.
turn the scientists against me one by one, starting with Einstein. I told you about that, Einstein.
This guy is like falling apart.
Yeah.
Man of the moment. You once held a reception for me. You gave me an award. It really wasn't for me. It was for all of you. To deal with the consequences of your achievement. When they've punished you enough, they'll serve you salmon and potato salad. Just remember, it won't be for you. It will be for them.
Kitty. Kitty said, fuck you.
When I came to you with those calculations, thought we might start a chain reaction that destroy the entire world. I believe we did.
Oddly enough, that went by faster than a lot of movies.
Second time around.
Yeah, that's true.
We watched movies that were like an hour. Like one episode of The Idol felt long.
Yeah, it felt the same length as the stuff that we usually watch, and it was twice as long.
But that was good, man.
Yeah.
Best Nolan movie I've seen. I criticize a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of problems with his pacing and his sound design. I feel like the music is always really loud, and the people like they're muttering. But I feel like all of Nolan's downsides worked in his favor in this. Like for some reason, like the way it came together and the plot, it just like usually something that would be annoying, like the dialogue where it's like this, it was like okay.
I enjoyed it.
Kill a cam. What makes the whites happy makes the blacks upset. You know, we need to get that tattoo. You can't get that.
What?
Yeah.
You definitely can't. Cillian Murphy, a notorious Jewish actor.
Notoriously Jewish. Everyone is saying this. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. I hope you have a good Jewish Christmas, whatever that means.
Thank you. We'll see the Killers of the Flower Moon at some point soon.
I know I'm still supposed to hate you. I know I'm still supposed to hate you. Tonight is tense and we miss your phone call.